Hello and welcome to my channel. This is the futuristic makeup look for the makeup challenge. You can see that over on my makeup YouTube. The link is dropped in the description box down below. Also to let you know, I know I said I was going to do these in like alphabetical order, but the Boogeyman and Bigfoot were really long segments and I'm still sick and it hurts my throat to talk for an extended period of time, so I'm skipping that for right now until I'm better. So hopefully by next week we can do one of the longer ones because I really prefer doing the long ones with these. But this is just kind of to keep me from losing my voice completely. If you saw the True Crime Tales video on Monday, you'll know what I'm talking about. Alright, so let me just get our stuff set up and I'll be right back. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up, so give me like 2 minutes. Alright, let's go. We are going to talk about centaurs today. If you've watched Harry Potter, you know what I'm talking about. The little half-horse, half-man guys. Yeah. A centaur, occasionally called hippocentaur, also called Ioxenide, is a creature from Greek mythology with the upper body of a human and the lower body and legs of a horse that was said to live in the mountains of Thessaly. In one version of the myth, the centaurs were named after Centaurus, and through his brother Lapithes, were kin to the legendary tribe of the Lapiths. Centaurs are thought of in many Greek myths as being as wild as untamed horses, and were said to have inhabited the region of Magnesia and Mount Pelion in Thessaly, the Pholoe oak forest in Elis, and the Malian Peninsula, I almost said Pennsylvania, in southern Laconia. Centaurs are subsequently featured in Roman mythology and were familiar figures in the medieval bestiary. They remain a staple of modern fantasy literature, such as Harry Potter. The centaurs were usually said to have been born of Iaxine and Nephili. As the story goes, Nephili was a cloud made into the likeness of Hera, and a plot to trick Ixion into revealing his lust for Hera to Zeus. Iazon, I don't know why I can't pronounce this, seduced Nephili, and from that relationship centaurs were created. Another version, however, makes them children of Centaurus, a man who mated with the Magnesian mares. I think we call that bestiality, so here's your content warning. My bad. Centaurus was either himself the son of Iaxine and Nephili, or of Apollo and the nymph Stilbe. In the later version of the story, Centaurus' twin brother was Lapithes, ancestor of the Lapiths. Another tribe of centaurs was said to have lived on Cyprus. According to Nonnus, the Cyprian centaurs were fathered by Zeus, who in frustration after Aphrodite had eluded him, spilled his seed on the ground of that land. Unlike those of mainland Greece, the Cyprian centaurs are ox-horned, so they're like the horns that like oxes have, like, or maybe that's rams. I don't know, are those the ones that curl forward, or is that rams? They were also the Lemnian Fears, 12 rustic Dalmoins, or spirits, of the Lamos River. They were sent by Zeus to guard the infant Dionysus, protecting him from the machinations of Hera, but the enraged goddess transformed them into ox-horned centaurs unrelated to the Cyprian centaurs. Laman Phares later accompanied the infant in his campaign against the Indians. The centaurs' half-human, half-horse composition had led many writers to treat them as liminal beings, caught between the two natures they embody in contrasting myths. They are both the embodiment of untamed nature, as in their battle with the Lapiths, and conversely, teachers like Chiron. The centaurs are best known for their fight with the Lapiths, who, according to one origin myth, would have been cousins to the centaurs. The battle, called the Centariomachy, was caused by the centaurs' attempt to carry off Hippodamia and the rest of the Lapith women on the day of Hippodamia's marriage to, this one I'm not sure about, Pirithoi, who was the king of the Lapithi and a son of Iaxine. I'm not saying that word anymore. Thesis, a hero and founder of cities who happened to be present through the balance in favor of the Lapiths by assisting Pirithous in the battle. The Centaurs were driven off or destroyed. Another Lapith hero, Sanus, who was invulnerable to weapons, was beaten into the earth by Centaurs wielding rocks and the branches of trees. In her article, The Centaur, Its History and Meaning and Human Culture, Elizabeth Lawrence claims that the contest between the Centaurs and the Lapiths typify the struggle between civilization and barbarism. I don't know why I struggled with the word typify. It wasn't even that hard. The names are what I'm sure I'm butchering horribly, but I'm trying. The Centauramachy is most famously portrayed in the metopes of the Parthenon by Phidias and in the Battle of the Centaurs, a relief by Michelangelo. The most common theory holds that the idea of centaurs came from the first reaction of a non-riding culture, as in the Minoan Aegean world, to nomads who were mounted on horses. The theory suggests that such riders would appear as a half-man, half-animal. Bernal Diaz del Castillo reported that the Aztecs had also had this misapprehension about Spanish cavalrymen. The Lapith tribe of Thessaly, who were the kinsmen of the centaurs in myth, were described as the inventors of horse riding by Greek writers. The Thessalian tribes also claimed their horse breeds were descended from the centaurs. Robert Graves speculated that the centaurs were dimly remembered pre-Hellenic fraternal earth cult who had the horse as a totem. A similar theory was incorporated into Mary Renault's The Bull from the Sea. Though female centaurs, called centuriids or centauruses, are not mentioned in early Greek literature and art, they do appear occasionally in later antiquity. A Macedonian mosaic of the 4th century BC is one of the earliest examples of the centaurs in art. Ovid also mentions a centaurus named Hylonomi who committed suicide when her husband Cyrus was killed in the war with the Lapiths. The Calibangan cylinder seal, dated to be around 2600 to 1900 BC, found at the site of Indus Valley civilization, shows a battle between men in the presence of centaur-like creatures. Other sources claim the creatures represented are actually half human and half tigers, later evolving into the Hindu goddess of war. The seals are also evidence of Indus Mesopotamia relations in the 3rd millennium BC, and a popular legend associated with Pazahaya. This temple, because I cannot pronounce those words. The curse of a saintly Brahmin transformed a handsome Yadava prince into a creature having a horse's body and the prince's head, arms, and torso in place of the head and neck of the torso. Kinaras, another half-man, half-horse mythical creature from Indian mythology, appeared in various ancient texts, arts, and sculptures from all around India. It is shown as a horse with the torso of a man where the horse's head would be, and is similar to a Greek centaur. A centaur-like half-human, half-equine creatures called Polkin appeared in Russian folk art and Lubak prints of the 17th to 19th centuries. Polkin is originally based on Pulican, a half-dog from Andrea de Barbino's poem I Really de France, which was once popular in the Slavonic world and Prozac translations. See, the hard part about doing these mythical creature segments that everybody voted on? I can't pronounce 95% of the words they use. C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia series portrays centaurs as wise and courageous creatures who are gifted in fields such as astronomy and medicine. John Updike's 1963 novel The Centaur contains numerous references to mythological creatures. The author depicts a rural Pennsylvanian town as seen through the optics of the myth of the centaur. An unknown and marginalized local school teacher, just like the mythological Charon did for Prometheus, gave up his life for the future of his son, who had chosen to be an independent artist in New York. In J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series, centaurs inhabit the Forbidden Forest near Hogwarts and are talented archers and healers. They are also known for their proficiency in astronomy and astrology. The centaurs in Rick Riordan's Percy Jackson and the Olympians are portrayed as wild partygoers, with the exception of Charon, who serves as the main director of activities at the series demigod training facility. Sorry, that was hard. There's a lot of really big words in there, and they were all like foreign, and I'm not like an expert at pronouncing, but I did my best. If you know what I said wrong and you know how to say it, you're welcome to let me know down in the box here, or in the comments. But other than that, that was the story of the Centaurs. The rest probably won't be so hard for me because they're, you know, better, like I can pronounce those words better, or I'll remember for once to actually look them up before I start the segment and learn how to pronounce them. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. As always, please don't do anything I wouldn't do. Be cautiously kind to others and make good choices. And I'll see you all on Friday. Bye.